All right, I think we are live. Let's see. Yep, it looks like we are live, and we're a little bit earlier today than normal, but that's okay. Had to happen. Do have some things I need to do later today, so hopefully that's okay. I realize it might be a little bit difficult because it is earlier. Definitely earlier than normal, but hopefully that's okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna make sure that we're good here. I think we are. Just need to double check one last thing. Hey Gary, nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the live stream. Oh Negro. Yes, what is up? How are we doing? We're doing well. How are you today? Hopefully you're doing well. Today will be a shorter stream just because I do have some stuff going on later in the day. I think I mentioned that earlier, but we're just going to say it again just to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Also, I'm just going to double check my mobile account here. I want to make sure, and obviously, unfortunately, you guys can't see it just yet. I'm going to work on getting something so you guys can see that because I'd like to connect for that as well. I think that'd be cool. But I'm just gonna raid real quick. Use a little bit of energy since I have it, and we did. Hey, Raid Slayer, nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the stream. Oh Negro, my energy so far today has been very good. It's a nice day outside. It's beautiful. You can see I'm kind of at a different location today, and part of that is because I'm at the law school. So I got some studying I need to do later today. So that is what is going on there. But yeah, so definitely going to be a solid day. Um, should be a good one. Should be a good one. So, okay, let's see what we have going on today. We have the level up any Titan artifact. I guess we need to definitely enchant a glyph. Always important to do so. So we'll look here with Isaac. We'll go ahead and use all of our big runes and a couple of the smaller medium-sized ones. I'm sure that's not the proper name, but anyway, we got some Isaac going on there. Yes, Johnny, I am a little bit early today. I actually am going to brunch with some friends later today, so I wanted to make sure I got the stream in. But so I had to do it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to make sure I got it in. So that was a big thing. I didn't want to cancel the stream, and I also wanted to hang out with you guys because that's always fun for me. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. It also won't be that long just because I do have to get ready to hang out with them and everything. But hopefully that's okay with you guys. And I'm glad to have you guys here, which is nice. So there we go. I do want to check out the sanctuary here though as well, just because I haven't really been running too many adventures lately. As you can tell, my portal charges are full. I need to be doing that. So let's see. Someone's trying to run the highest one. I don't know if I want to do that one. We'll do the 121. I just like the 121. It's the most friendly, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and just start on one of the paths and we'll go from there. So I'm going to just use, yeah, we'll use Jorgen until we see someone with a Sebastian and we'll go from there. Morning, Ionis. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the live stream. Hello, everyone. Johnny says, don't eat too much. I totally understand. Yeah, whenever, if I overeat for brunch, I will say sometimes I get a little sleepy, then I'm not very productive. So definitely we'll be trying to avoid overeating for sure. Um, but yeah, it should be a good time for sure. Definitely looking forward to it. Yes, so I am currently at school right now. I'm actually in one of the study rooms, which is very nice. I really like these study rooms, and this one's particularly cool because behind me it actually has on one of our upper levels we have a open floor area where basically it's just outside. So it's kind of nice, especially on the warmer days. And it's still morning time, so it's still like kind of bright, but it's not like sunny just yet. And when the clouds are up there, it is especially cool. In the winter, it's a little bit less cool, but everything else is very nice. I really enjoy it, especially during the spring and summertime. Yeah, we can check the wheel for sure. You want to check the wheel for Saturday for Facebook? Okay, let's see. Open list, Saturday's Facebook. Greg G, I see you right here. So let's find you on the wheel here. Greg G, right here. Right in between Ray Johnston and Marc-Andre Emond. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But you're here. You're here. Oh, Gary H. Let's see. Gary H. Let's see. Gary H. I'm not sure. I don't believe I think you might not be on here. Let's see. Open list, Saturday's Facebook. Gary. Let's see, Gary. I actually don't see on here, Gary. YouTube. Let's go to the YouTube video. Let's consult the video. Real quick. I mean, what's the next event? All right, so that's a great question. I think the next event, and I'm going to have to double check what we've had so far, but I think it's very likely we will have a hero artifact event soon. I don't know if we've had one for a little while. I think it's been a minute, especially for Facebook and web, because last time we had the Autumn Festival, we had Scorching Days. I don't believe we've had a hero artifact event recently. I'm looking through my videos here. Guardians of the Outland, yeah, rainy season, sure. I think we're due for a hero artifact event. I think it's about time we had one of those. We haven't had one in a while. But I also think it's very possible we have Ascension next, which I think would be a terrible thing because I don't think it would. It just doesn't make sense to have Ascension so soon. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but it's totally possible. Let's check the Facebook video here too for Gary's name on here. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's sort by newest first. If we just scroll down here, let's look for Gary. I'm not seeing on here. Greg G. Amard. Maybe if I just go, because I mean, I just don't see. Let's maybe if I look at comments potentially. Let's go to manage videos and comments. And if I go Gary H, let's see. Oh, what is your well, I don't see it on here. What if we just go Gary H, August. So I see you on the August entry. Did you maybe not enter it on the new entry? Because I see you on August. I see you on June. I don't think I see you on anything for September. So make sure you put it on there. Cool. Absolutely. Hey Adib, no problem at all. Totally fine. We just got started, if I'm being honest. So the other thing too is I believe mobile events, there should be one coming tonight. So we'll have the Twins event, which is kind of cool. Just thought I'd mention that too. Because Lars and Krista are amazing heroes. I love them. I use them both on my main team. Currently, I'm working on finishing Krista on my main team. And the reason for that is that just item-wise, my Lars is already done. So all I need to do for Lars is really finish off the skins and finish off the artifact, right? The first and third artifact. The second one's done for Lars, but I need to finish those two, and I'm working on Krista as well. But very effective combo. I use currently Astaroth, the twins, Jorgen and Dorian, and I'm ranked in the top 10 almost every single arena day. Just it's such a good combination. Highly recommend it, especially if you play mobile. Just throwing that out there. So we're gonna have a twins event later tonight for that. Do I watch WWE? Absolutely, I do watch WWE. Not every episode as I used to, but I do still watch a fair amount. I'm a big Roman Reigns fan. The big dog, I guess now he's the tribal chief. But yes, I do watch some WWE. Safe. I also watch some just independent wrestling and some UFC, stuff like that. I just try to keep up with what's going on in sports, really. I know baseball season's wrapping up here. And yeah, we got soccer going on full swing. I guess you call it football, depending on where you're at. We also have American football going on. A lot going on in the sports world, especially. You know, I consider WWE definitely a sport as well. But yes, hi Kim, nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the stream. No worries at all. Thank you for being here. It will be a shorter stream today, just because I will be hanging out with some friends later. but absolutely. Guys who will win if Super Titans Absolute Star will maximum level versus 3 boss in Outland. Yeah, I will say some of those people who have Absolute Star Titans definitely um, will probably do well against the bosses. If we're talking about the lords specifically, and in Outlands, I will say, depending on if you have enough left over to invest in your heroes, right, after you've maxed your Titans as much as you can, definitely could be something to do for sure. Good morning, Richard W. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the live stream. I do appreciate it. Hey, Alok, I don't win anything ever. I'm a new player. I'd really like to win something. Everyone wishes that. Well, hey, Alok, you never ever know, and don't ever count yourself out. What platform are you on? I'm curious. Let me know what platform you're on. I know obviously it's difficult being a new player. There's a lot to retain, but stick in there. I'm sure you're gonna win something, if not today, at some point for sure. Let me put it that way. Everyone's luck comes at some point. Okay. Guys who will win if Super Titans Absolute Star with maximum level versus 3 boss in Outlands. So I think what you mean might be you're talking about this, which is the Tournament of Elements. And I think what you're talking about is the Lords. So the Lords are very strong. They're like pretty much the end game of the Titan realm, if we'll call them that. And basically, you really need to have almost all absolute everything to take down all 3 Lords. I'm getting close. You can see my Titans are very close. I need to work on finishing off Nova, and then my Nova, Mary, and Ignis really kind of are where I need to finish off my Titans here. I'm really trying to work on getting Nova first, just because I only need to do one particular artifact for her. And by doing so, I'm basically prepping for those lords that you're kind of talking about. And the 3 Outland bosses, I think, are a little bit easier if we're talking about just focusing on them, because you can really only, if you have one strong enough hero, you can take down all these guys. So I think the hero to keep in mind when we're looking at Outland, right? So there's a couple different options, but if we look at Brog, for example, if you have a strong enough Satori, you can win with pretty much only Satori, right? Satori is good enough that Satori single-handedly will carry your Outland team against Brog. Another example will probably be, let's see, Orion's usually pretty good as well. Mojo against Brog is phenomenal as well. Alyssa the Weaver, I use Jew specifically, but other options I think include Kira. Kira's super good against Alyssa the Weaver. And then here with Vajar, we have Vihar. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I found that Ashton and Lucas is amazing on mobile. I use Ashton Lucas single-handedly, can win, no problem. I think Ishmael, when powered up, is very strong as well. And Ching Mao is obviously good. Yasmin solid. I mean, you got a lot more options with um, the incinerator here. So yeah, just some stuff there. All right, Alok. Yep. Talk to you on web. Gotcha. Talk to you on Discord as well. Absolutely. Was there just an event for a pet, with a portal to the right? Yeah, I did see that, and I noticed that it was. I thought I saw it on web as well, but then I noticed that it like disappeared. So I don't know if it was a temporary event for web, and they decided we're not going to have it for web, and it was only for Facebook. But I know we had it for Facebook for sure, and for web, I thought we did have it for a very short period of time, like almost like a day, and then they like got rid of it. But maybe I'm mistaken on that. That was kind of what I remember. But yeah, for sure. Hey, Wally, thank you for joining this stream. No worries at all. It started a little bit earlier. Part of the reason is I will be going to brunch with some law school friends. Currently, that's why I'm at the law school actually and streaming here, because I knew as soon as I was done, which today will be a little bit shorter, I would be hanging out with them and getting some breakfast. I guess technically it'd be more like brunch. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan, and that's why I started a little bit earlier than normal. Hopefully that's okay with everybody. But anyway, yes. So I think that with the Lords, you just need to have a very solid team base. You need to have almost everything done, which is going to be crazy because it's just you need to mishmash your team together. It's not going to be a 4-in-1 combination most of the time. And the reason being that the opponents are not like that, and they're just so much stronger than your average team. But yeah, okay, let's take a look here. So Sanctuary, I think what I should do is maybe just clear the middle path. I was going to just wait, but I think I'm just going to clear the middle path so whoever joins can do so. Then I don't have to worry about it. I do like this map the most. I like level 120 the most because I think level 130 is just kind of it's an abyss. Like it's hit or miss. Like either your teammates do really well and you have the buffs that help your team or you don't, which is really unfortunate because that means you're only going to get 2 chests or 3 chests as opposed to 4. So yeah. Oh yeah, you're good. You're absolutely good. Right on. Okay, going to church and then the lake if it doesn't rain. Absolutely good plan. Yeah, I mean, I think there might be, at least where I'm at, the weather's going to be a little bit overcast, but it should be a nice day overall. So, yeah, solid stuff. Okay. So, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you do put your IDs on the YouTube videos for web and Facebook for this month, right? September/October, right? We still have 2 more weeks of polls. So, if you haven't already, definitely do that. I know it can get a little confusing just because I have them like every month, basically, but make sure you keep doing that. And then I will be picking some winners later today as well. Also, just a reminder, I will be having some membership stuff coming out very soon. I'm thinking I'll probably implement and throw that out in probably about, I'm hoping I'll have it out early this week. Then I'll probably make a video as well and just kind of put that out there for everyone if they so desire. And then basically, if you choose to do that, I will probably look at it very carefully and I'll kind of go from there. So just throwing that out there, I do want to implement that soon just because I want to get that rolling and I want people to have the opportunity to sign up and think about it or, do whatever they like. But yeah, okay. So here we go. We're going to keep rolling here. We're going right through the adventure itself. And we're kind of just cutting through, which is nice. I just want to finish to get to there. And that'll be a good start for whoever joins the adventure. They don't have to wait. I don't like having my teammates wait. It just feels wrong. And, sometimes I do make them wait, which sucks. But I like to try to avoid that or minimize the waiting time that they have in the game, especially when it comes to adventures, because adventures can get frustrating. Level 120 is pretty nice because you can just kind of run through, especially if you just are taking the middle path. The other two, they do have to wait a little bit because these buffs, but I think it works out overall. I do like adventures still. I think Ascension will be very interesting to see how that plays out. I think it's a little premature still for it to come, but I do think that Halloween will be very cool as well. When can you safely skip battles in adventures? Well, I would say when you have a firm grasp on the matchup. So if you think that you're going to win for sure, I would just go for it. It's basically the same as auto and just speeding up. But if you're not sure about when your skill needs to go off or you're feeling like I want to see how it plays out, I think it's not a bad idea to not skip. So if you really want, like for example, right, you have a specific timing in which you want to do it, you can play it yourself. And that's kind of what I'm going to be showing here. So now I want Jorgen's skill to go off, Astaroth. Really, it just depends on how confident you are in your own team and how strong you think things will play out. So I also find that sometimes the game is a little slow or glitchy, and I didn't even have time to have my skills go off. But yeah, so I think it just depends on how you're feeling about your team and how confident you are in your team's ability to take out the opponent. I think those are kind of the main things. Here, I'd normally take out probably Faceless and put in Helios, but I'm not confident that my Helios is strong enough for this Yasmin, even though it is probably power-wise way stronger. But I think we're good. Results are the same if you let it play out or skip. I think they are 99% of the time. The only exception is if you decide to play it manually, right? And then you time up your skills a little differently, then maybe you're going to have a varied outcome. But other than that, I do think Richard's W is correct in that most of the time results will be the same if you play it out with just auto and speed up versus if you play it with just skip. So skipped is essentially auto and speed up all in one. It's kind of why they have it there, so you don't even have to watch it. Absolutely, Kim. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully the weather holds up and you can go to the lake. Adib says, I love Albus. It is very good. Yes, Albus is probably one of my favorite offensive pets in the game. That's one of the reasons I started working on him first, and he's also the furthest along in terms of items. So Albus is probably my favorite offensive pet. My favorite defensive pet currently is definitely Axel. For dodge, I love Kane. Merlin is great for magic attackers, and I think, yeah, that's kind of the bottom line there. And for physical attack teams, right? If your opponent has a physical attack team, Fenris is really helpful. The Blind Rage is really, in my opinion, is very useful against physical attackers because then they miss. Um, Oliver's very, very general and great for your tanks. So maybe I would use Oliver with a team that's like kind of like the Blessed teams. So like Tristan teams, someone that has a lot of frontline heroes, because it is definitely more about healing heroes that take physical damage as well. So I don't know. It's kind of a toss up between physical damage attackers, right, on the opposing team. Use Fenris or Oliver. And then Biscuit, I would say Biscuit is, let's see. Deal some storm damage. I don't know. I think Biscuit's kind of a varied hero or pet. I haven't used Biscuit enough to really say how I strongly would advocate one way or the other. But I do like the fact that um, you know, Biscuit deals more damage, kind of similar to like a Kane specialized pet, kind of. But definitely a pet that I like as well. But I do like Albus quite a bit as well. I think Albus is amazing against boss type characters. That's kind of my hot take. Careful using Albus versus a strong Martha. I think the thing with Martha is obviously um, negating her effectiveness. So two things make Martha very, very good. So if we look at Martha's here. Two things, well, I guess three things really make Martha stand out. So one is that she heals based on distance. So let me find this. Secret of longevity. So Martha's basic attacks heal her when a projectile hits an enemy. The farther the projectile travels, so the farther an enemy is from Martha, the more damage she does. So this is why Luther is also kind of a problem because Luther gets so close to Martha that it doesn't maximize her healing abilities, and it kind of limits Martha's potential for damage. This is also why Cleaver can be very difficult for Martha as well. You also have Four Mother's Oath, increases the speed of her allies. This is a huge benefit to anyone who uses Martha. And then obviously the totem, enemies can't target the totem, but it can take AOE damage, so area damage, right? And while the totem is active, ally with the least health now receives additional healing. So these three skills rely on Martha not getting hit, or at least her totem not getting hit and her being kind of far away from opponents. So Luther gets right up in her face, can really make that very difficult for her to heal effectively. Cleaver is kind of similar in the fact that all his allies now are right there and they're all coming after Martha. Can make it a lot more difficult for Martha, but I do think Albus, right, is good. But I do agree that obviously you got to be careful with a strong Martha depending on her positioning and depending on what heroes you're using with your Albus when you're attacking, because Martha is a very good healer. Let's see. I usually do manual battles until I've easily beaten the adventure and then switch to skip battles. I think that's a great strategy, except for when you come across the level 130 challenges. Some of the level 130 challenges, I'm looking more specifically at the very last one. That map changes every single day, so sometimes some of the teams change up and the buffs. And the buffs on the last two really make a huge difference in the outcomes of the matchups. So I think it's good to do that, except for maybe on the Chapter 13 maps, just because those ones are a little bit more difficult. Generally speaking, I usually play manual on those, and it makes them a little bit more work. But definitely something to think about there. But I think it's a good strategy. I like that. Hey Grabnell, nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the live stream. Biscuit works well against multiple healer combos. That actually makes a lot of sense. I haven't used Biscuit enough myself, but I think that makes a lot of sense that Biscuit would do that because I know Biscuit was initially meant to kind of counter some of these healing properties that we have. Let's see, Stay and Chill is the patronage skill, which was what again? Reduce the healing received by the enemy. Yep, okay. Mighty Snowball creates a snowball, throws at the enemy, deals magic damage, and slows the target. So this is kind of a counter to Martha in certain extents because Martha is about speeding up characters. Icy Storm summons an Icy Storm under the enemies. Storm deals magic damage and prevents enemies from receiving any healing. Yes, okay, so definitely great for mitigating a team that has a bunch of healers. So if someone decides to stack them, we're talking like Thea, Celeste, and Martha all on the same team, or Dorian, Celeste, and Martha, something like that. You definitely would want to consider King Biscuit. I definitely agree with that. Makes sense. Hey, Tanya. Nice to have you here. You're here to save the day. I love that. I love that. Yes, thank you for being here. Today will be kind of a shorter stream just because I do have a brunch I'm going to be getting with a couple of law school friends after this. I'm actually at the law school right now. But yeah, so nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the stream. For Mother's Oath, then Faceless Copy. It is a great speed boost. Absolutely. Simon is 100% correct. And it's actually one of the reasons I love Faceless is this doppelganger effect copies the first skill and it basically increases the level. Look at this. Copied ability gains up to 260 levels. I mean, just think about that. That means it's basically doubling the power and speed, essentially, give or take, right? It's an estimated approach, but it is pretty incredible. I will say Faceless just has um, a lot of potential with that first skill. It's very, very dangerous. I'm still stuck on chapter 12 because the Frozen. Yeah, so a couple of heroes that are good for and Incognito. Do you or wait, yeah. Adib, do you mind telling me your current main team that you're using in chapter 10? If you tell me what you're using, I can kind of give you a more specialized hero, but I think the general answer here will be Cornelius is great against those types of heroes. He's a backline hero. He attacks the other backline. Really good hero. But if you tell me who else you have, I can probably give you a better hero to work with your team. Jew's usually pretty good as well. Jew's kind of more in the back to mid level. If Yasmin is on your team, that might be helpful. If you have Sebastian, Sebastian's great to basically limit how long you're essentially kind of paralyzed or frozen by those frozen massages. Um, Definitely something that I would consider when we're talking about chapter 10, which is where those guys with the ice breath freeze you in place. Yeah, definitely kind of an annoying one. I remember those guys. The other option is just to level up and not get affected by them. But yeah, there's a couple of options there. Couple of options. Sorry, I keep clicking on this because I keep seeing the messages and I don't want to skip those. A lot of Marthas on your server. What do you think of Misty Catherine's tier list? Um, I don't want to criticize other people's tier lists, but I do think she has an agenda, right? So she has her favorite teams, right? Which is the quote unquote, she calls them the Holy Trinity, right? You have Aurora, Sebastian, and Celeste, which I think are all good heroes, but I don't think that those are the only three heroes that should be in S tier. And I think it's just kind of very, I think it's how she views them for herself. She doesn't view them like in a larger scale capacity. So when I try to make a tier list, I try to look at each hero and I try to weigh them based on usability, viability against other teams, other opponents, so on and so forth. I think the way that she was doing it was based off of her own preferences for her heroes, and I think that's it. So she didn't really consider other people's gameplay. She's just trying to cater to her specific gameplay. So I think that even though I'm sure it's accurate for herself, maybe that tier list is not universal. It's not really used for everyone. But I do like, that she's sharing her insights on her thoughts on how she should be using her team and what heroes that she likes to use. So I think it's cool that she shared that with us. but I do think that it's very difficult for others to replicate unless you're really trying to use the exact same team she's using. It's kind of my opinion on that. But yeah, no, I mean, she does a lot good. I just don't know if yeah, I don't know if that is kind of the most universal or user friendly um tier list, right? Because I think it's very specific to her specific team and her style of play. Whereas I like to kind of look at it and kind of give players more options and kind of um, not necessarily just tie people into just one set of heroes, right? Because heroes can be used very differently. So if you look at a lot of the combinations, sometimes heroes can be used in ways that you or I don't expect, and it can turn out very well. Faceless, the ultimate utility hero. I like him a lot. I will say my only problem with him, and it's a minor concern. I mean, not concern, minor problem or thing is that his health is not always super high. So sometimes he can get one shot. I've seen him get taken out by Kark in one shot, and I was like, no, because I love Faceless. So I don't like him getting knocked out, but he's very useful, which is why I like having him on the field. But I will say sometimes he's a little bit soft in the defensive end, which can cause him to get taken out real quick in like one hit, which when you have a useful hero, you don't want him to get taken out in one hit, right? So sometimes it's a little scary, but I do love him a lot. I like him a lot. He's definitely a utility. He's definitely usable in a lot of different situations. Biscuit's first skill stops healing, except any healing assigned. Oh, healing Oliver assigned to a hero. Gotcha. So it sounds like if you're not using a physical attacker, you should be okay. I haven't seen it yet, but I will after. Martha, Qingmao, Astaroth, Dante, and Arachne. Ooh, that's a good squad. I would say maybe consider adding Sebastian to that squad. I would say maybe going with taking out either Arachne or Qingmao and using Sebastian just for these fights against the Visages because it will give you some protection against that frozen status essentially and allow your heroes, right? You have Dante, you have some good attackers, right? Ching Mao and even Arachne, right? So I would just take out one of either Ching Mao or Arachne and put in Sebastian and see how that changes things for your team because I think that protection that Sebastian will offer your team might be just enough to be able to take out those opponents because you have some really good attackers. Just unfortunately for you, they are a little bit more mid to frontline attackers. But I think if you add in Sebastian, or you keep just leveling up your heroes, honestly, you'll have no problem beating them. So that's kind of my opinion on that. And you can get Sebastian really easily if you every single day you get well every week you get 2 of those scrolls, and you can trade them in up top here. So if we go up to let's see Titan Valley here and we go to the merchant, you can trade in your certificates for Sebastian right here. Sebastian just is a really viable hero. I like him a lot in almost any situation, can be very useful. Increases critical hits and protects you from negative status effects. I would consider looking at Sebastian and maybe adding him to your team just for this chapter 10. I think it might be helpful. It could also be helpful in the long run. Sometimes Grand Arena helps mitigate Jorgen. Jorgen can be a problem if people are using him and you're not using Sebastian. So something to think about there. She's in love with him. Aurora's a money pit. I do think if you don't have the ability to invest in Aurora until she's done like red plus 2 red is where she starts really shining. She gets a lot more useful, but I do think that without spending heavily in Aurora or investing a lot of time and effort in Aurora, she doesn't pay dividends until late. But she's good. Aurora's a good hero. The biggest thing is the reason that they added that dodge factor. Rufus also helps versus chapter 10. Yeah, actually, Richard W is definitely correct. You could also sub in Rufus for sure because there's a lot of magic attackers there. Isaac also probably would work well, but I don't think Isaac would be great against those frozen visages that just freeze your team. So you'd probably want, I think, Sebastian is just, I think it's the best choice. Cornelius is very effective, but then that's kind of having to upgrade a brand new hero unless you already have him pretty strong, which in my opinion is maybe not worth it. Just too many resources. But Sebastian, I think, is very worth it and will be helpful for you on one of your 3 teams in Grand Arena. Can you make a preparation video for Halloween? I've heard it's one of the best events, and as a new player, we need some head start to save resources. Yeah, absolutely. Alok, I'll probably be making a video early to mid this week about preparing for Halloween, and I'll also be talking about it next week on the stream, kind of probably going over again some of the main points that I want to hit in Halloween, but definitely some things. I think one video I want to make this week, if I can get to it, is a updated tier list pre-Ascension. I want something pre-Ascension, and then I want to have something post-Ascension. The reason being I want to look at them myself and kind of see how it shakes things up. And then I do also want to, if I can, roll out the membership as well as having, this Halloween prep video for you guys. So definitely could do that for sure. Even a low-level Rufus is good. I agree with that. I will say you probably want a decent Rufus, not a terrible one. The reason being that Rufus is very useful, not necessarily just because you can use him effectively in Chapter 10. Could switch out Qingmao and Iraqi and add Sebastian and Ju. Definitely an option as well. I like Ju a lot against those guys, and Sebastian is also good. I think if you use both of those, you're going to definitely be winning easily. Also, let's go ahead and do our picker wheel. I don't want to forget here, so let's go ahead and open up the list for Sunday's Facebook. These are our Discord winners, right? So if you're not in the Discord, please try to join it. You're kind of just missing out on opportunities to enter this contest. And this is one of the last ones I'm allowing multiple accounts for contest entry, right? Because next month we're going to be starting one account and one ID per player. So if you have multiple accounts, you got to pick which one you want to potentially win, unless you do join the membership, where I believe it's the fan one, right? Where I'm gonna end up having two ID options. So you can use the same ID twice, or you can have your ID and an alternative ID account available on the wheel, and that's for both Facebook and web. So that's why it's a big advantage to do that. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just thinking that's kind of what's fair. But anyway, so let's go ahead and spin for our Facebook winner here for Sunday. Let me make sure I have the right list open here. Best of luck to everyone. I do hope that you guys have some good luck. So let's see who wins here. So ARC 11545679 is our winner for the Facebook contest. So let's go ahead and find them here. ARC, is it this one? There you go. Wow. Good luck, all but mostly me. All right. Well, hey, I guess you had the luck, right? That is who we're talking about. Yep. Congrats, ARC. You have been chosen by the Wheel of Fate. Please message me when you can. And it seems luck was on your side. It seems luck was on your side. There we go. All right, congratulations to ARC. We also will be having our web winner. We might as well do it right now since we're already here with the picker wheel. Hello, Wanma. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the stream. Sunday's Web. Let's go ahead and have our winner here. We had 50 inputted people. I guess that includes multiple accounts, but let's see who our lucky winner is for Web. All right. So Godzilla is our winner for Web. I think they're a newer contest entrant for this particular entry period. Godzilla here we go. Brand new entrant. And it looks like they did win. So this is one of the reasons why also having a second account helps, because they actually won with their second account. And that's also why I'm going to be shutting that down, so that it's more fair for everyone that they just have one attempt starting from October 15th contest. So that'll be the October one. But anyway, congrats, Godzilla. Congrats. You have been chosen by the Wheel of Fate for Facebook Web, or for Web. Please message me when you get a chance. All right. There we go. All right, so we have our winners. Yeah, Richard, I think that's what I'm gonna do just because I want to make it fair for everyone. So, because a lot of people who only have one account, unfortunately, are unable to. So this is where things get tricky. So, like when you have one account, right, and you only have one, you have one slice of the pie, right? Where if you have two or three account names, it gives you a bigger portion of the pie, right? So you have a 3 out of 50 chance as opposed to a 1 out of 50 chance. So I do want to try to even the playing field, but I do also want to offer some stuff in my membership for players to kind of have a chance to kind of get more on the wheel, just as a thank you, kind of more than anything. Because I mean, I don't know if you had a chance to look at this, but the reason I'm doing that is because I don't think too many people will buy into it. If I'm being 100% honest, so I don't think too many people will take advantage of it. So I don't think you'll disrupt the wheel too much. But I do want to give that option there if players want it. But yeah, so I mean, here's kind of what I have. So we have the J pack, which is like, you get the loyalty badges, which is I think they're pretty cool. YouTube made them themselves. There's member only polls. Supporter has all these previous perks as well as member only live chats and priority reply to comments. Fans, right? And this is where I'm thinking of adding it because it's a $10 a month thing. I don't know if everyone's going to really be taking advantage of it, but there are like early access to new videos, exclusive member only videos, if they ask for something, and member shout outs. But I'm thinking of adding in the perk of having an extra entry. The reason being, I do want to give more perks to, people. I do. But at the same time, I want to make it so that it's not like everyone's getting it, but I also don't want it so that no one's getting it. So it's an option, but I don't think too many people will take advantage of it. So really, I'm just trying to have everyone have a fair shot at the slice of a reward, right? So that's kind of what I'm going for there. Um, so yeah, absolutely. So Godzilla had 2 accounts. Yep, absolutely. Um, the Saturday Facebook video now. Perfect, Gary. I will update you to the list as soon as this live stream's over. Can't do it on live, unfortunately, but I will. A-Lock here. Yep. All right. Congrats. So A-Lock has become a winner here. Do you know which reward you would like? Feel free to message me on the Discord or here too. It doesn't matter. I know you're here. But yeah, so that's kind of also why I'm thinking about limiting the number of times you're on the wheel. So yeah, that's what's going on there, Richard. And yeah, I think it's just better if I limit it so that it's a little bit more fair. But if someone decides to pay for those perks, then I do want to also reward those guys. So yes. Um, and Richard, I don't think I will, and the reason being is I don't think that many people will take advantage of it. That's kind of my honest opinion with it. But if you don't want to enter the contest, that's okay. But that just means that you're not going to win for sure if you decide not to enter the contest, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. But yeah. So anyway, that is what's going on with the picker wheel. Um, you know, obviously I'm open to talk about it more and stuff like that for sure. But yeah. So yeah, we can see Godzilla's on here twice, right? But anyway, that's kind of what we have for the wheel. Those were our winners for today. Before I wrap up, I do want to look real quickly at one last thing, which is actually not even on this account. So I think we're good. Okay, I'm going to just hop over to web account real quick. And let's see if it pops up for us here. Maybe. Yeah, no problem. Absolutely no problem. Um, all right, so here we go. We have okay, our account here. We are getting close to the next level. And let's take a look here. All right, we're going to upgrade our Aurora just a touch because I am using Aurora as my main tank here. And so I am kind of just investing a lot in Aurora, which is true. It's a lot to invest in Aurora, but she is a very good hero once you've invested enough. you have to be pretty much starting with her in order to focus on that. But yeah, so I'm going to just go ahead and open these 10. Oh, we got Mary. We got all the Titans now on this account, which is what I really wanted to go for. So there we go. I'm very happy with that result. We got all of our summons in today. But yeah. But anyway, I do think I'm going to probably end the stream here very, very soon. I'm just going to run out these 300, basically 300 energy. I want to try to upgrade, let's see, Dragon Shield, maybe just a touch. And the reason being that this item is very important for our Dante. And the reason it's important for Dante is really two things. One is the statistical advantage of physical attack, and the other one is the other statistical advantage, which is armor. So this basically will protect us against physical attackers, and physical attack will just allow us to deal more damage, more strength for all of Dante's skills. So there we go. We've got everything going. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on this live stream. As for any of the confusion regarding any of the wheel and stuff, more than happy to talk about it, especially off live, because I just think that it will be more effective if we can both communicate on Discord or something like that. But yes, thank you guys so much for all your support. It really means a lot. And things have been looking great with this web team, which is really cool because I just started it really for the purpose of giving away rewards to everyone and giving people an opportunity. So thank you guys again. Congrats to the winners. I hope you guys all have a great weekend, just like Incognito here is saying as well. Thank you guys again, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week on the channel. So I'll see you guys